It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
It is still unbelievable, the twisted wreckage left by Friday's bombing beneath New York's World Trade Center. And here are the Twin Towers today, quiet, looking normal, but leaving so many questions about Friday's explosion still unanswered. And good morning, everyone. I'm Charles Gibson this morning, just outside the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. Joan?
And I'm John Lennon. It is Monday morning, March 1st. And Charlie, I guess this is a Monday morning, though, like no other there in the financial district.
Indeed not, Joan. This was a terrible blow for Wall Street, but because the towers are such a center for the financial markets, those financial markets touch the rest of the nation, indeed affect the entire world. The Twin Towers themselves are shut down today. They're going to be shut down for at least a week. Most people think of the World Trade Center as just the towers, but it's actually a complex of 7 buildings, 5 of them much lower. The commodities exchanges, which are located here, will be open today in one of the lower buildings. They will be trading, not as normal, but there will be trading today. Behind me is the Vista Hotel, one of the lower buildings of the complex. It was under the Vista that the bomb actually exploded. You can see the blown out garage doors. As to who set the bomb, how, or why, that investigation is going to take months, obviously. We'll cover this story up, down, and sideways today, including advice for people who work in high-rise buildings, and that's a lot more people than you'd think. Joan?
And in just a few minutes, New York Governor Mario Cuomo, who, of course, is closely following this investigation, and we will get a chance to meet some of the very lucky people who got out alive. Right now, Spencer's got the weather for us.
Okay, Joan. First day of March, and the roar of the March lion can certainly be heard in the southern Rockies and southern plains today in the form of heavy rain and heavy snow. I'll tell you how much and where in this half hour.
Right now, the Mike Schneider has all the news of the day. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Joan. Good morning, everybody. We begin this morning at the scene of the headquarters of that religious cult called the Branch Davidian, just outside of Waco, Texas, where the situation has gone from violence to a standoff. The violence came yesterday in a big way. Federal agents raiding the compound, they were looking for weapons, and they were looking to arrest the group's leader. But the people inside were ready. And what came next was a shootout that went on for somewhere in the neighborhood of an hour. This morning, things are quiet, but they remain tense.
About 50,000 people worked in the World Trade Centers before the blast on Friday. And the question obviously arises, what do you do with 50,000 displaced workers and the business? But normal here, 3 days after a bomb punched a hole in the World Trade Center. 5 people dead, more than 1,000 injured. And the question remains, who did it? Good morning, everyone. I'm Charles Gibson, this morning down in Lower Manhattan, just outside the World Trade Center. Joan?
And I'm John Lennon. It is Monday, March 1st. And Charlie, behind you, I guess we're really looking at a 110-story ghost town this morning.
Well, ghost town is a good term. The World Trade Center is really home for about 350 national and international companies. The towers are closed down today. They say will be closed down the rest of the week, so this is sort of a ghost town. This represents 10% of all the office space in Lower Manhattan.
Day number 3 after Demolition Day Friday, with authorities trying to piece together a puzzle of what happened. They are sure it was a bomb that killed 5, injured more than 1,000 people, and left 1 still unaccounted for. From the pieces the FBI have so far, they say this was not a solo kamikaze-type act.
We are not jumping to the conclusion that it is a terrorist incident perpetrated by any particular group, but that is a possibility, and our investigation will look at that possibility very closely.
Possibilities, Fox says, a drug cartel, in particular the Medellin cartel, or a guerrilla group. Officials say traces of nitrate were found indicating TNT or dynamite, and providing a clue why the blast created so much damage.
The area is still unstable, so it's difficult to move anything. It's certainly difficult to get pieces of equipment in there, and there's going to have to be some preliminary shoring up before they can fully get into that area.
The instability is keeping bomb experts away from the actual blast site. This will be an expensive act, costing some individual firms millions of dollars a day or more. From past experiences, officials don't expect to reach any conclusions for at least 4 months. There have been 50 calls claiming responsibility for the act, and the FBI says many more calls with pertinent clues and leads. Meanwhile, city officials say they will spend Monday mapping out a strategy with police and private sector security forces.
Kind of bit of history to get this job done. In fact, going to go back 20 years in terrorist records, back to the Munich Olympics, to find out exactly what path or if there's any clues to how this happened. And they're asking companies to go back 2 years to the Kuwaiti situation and beef up your security to that level. That's what the level they would like to see in the financial district from this point forward.
John, we are hearing some speculation, and I use the word advisedly, it is speculation at this point, about structural damage at building number 2. Now, I don't know if you've got any hard information on this subject, but clearly that is a very serious implication.
Well, the buildings 1, 2, and 3, Stuart, are expected to be out for a week. The official word, actually, from the FBI and the Port Authority is in excess of a week, and they don't want to put a number on it. We just got done talking to a Port Authority official, and he was reluctant to give us any clear answers on this, which is an indication that they don't really have a good feeling what the structure looks like underneath. We do know that the bomb experts couldn't get underneath.